The information provided on this show does not, and is not intended to, constitute legal advice. Instead, all information on this show is for general informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for legal advice, and we recommend viewers consult an attorney for specific legal matters.
Good morning and welcome back to our Condo Craze and HOA show here on YouTube. So good to see you every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eric Glazer here. He's board certified in community association law. Karen Curtis. We've been doing the show for about 15 years. First on the radio, then we got our YouTube channel. Then Robert.
I think it's more than 15 actually.
Is it?
I think it's closing in on 17.
No.
Yeah, believe it or not. Got to check, but I think it's 17.
Wow.
Long time.
That is a long time.
A lot of fun in 17 years.
Oh my gosh, yes. So anyway, we have our diamond sponsor, Best Roofing. We actually had the CEO or the CFO or the CAAO, the attorney from them last year.
And they did a ton of work at my house this week,
Did they?
coincidentally. Yeah. I came out, Johnny on the spot, and fixed a roof problem I had. Thank you, Best Roofing.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, they're there for you as well. And if you'd like to give us a call here in the studio and ask Eric any questions, because everything is so crazy with the new laws and everything about condos and HOAs, the number to call is 717-GLAZER-8. That's 717-452-9378. He has offices in Hollywood and Orlando, but he goes all over the state teaching the seminars, which he invented.
Coming up.
And then he also got the law passed where board members
mandatory.
need to take them. So it's really impressive.
Thank God. Yeah, I am very happy about that one. Hey, guys, good morning. And if you're a fan of the show, don't forget to subscribe to two different things. Number one, of course, the Condo Craze and HOA's channel on YouTube that you're watching now. By doing so, you don't have to just watch it live. You can access any of our shows and really what's become an amazing library at this point. And, of course, subscribe to our email list at condocrazeandhoas.com. By doing so, you get announcements about the show. You get announcements about our seminars, updates on the law, and a lot more. Again, condocrazeandhoas.com.
Yeah, and also don't forget that you can find us on the socials. We're on Facebook, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Yeah, and we do a blog every Monday morning at condocrazeandhoas.com. Off script, guys.
Oh boy,
big day in my life today. And I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'd like to be honest with the listeners and the viewers, I should say. And after this show, I'm actually going to my mom's house today. And so many of the viewers actually know my mom because Bernice, because she likes to watch her son do a seminar every once in a while. And she is 94 years old. God bless her.
Way to go, Bernice.
And I guess this is a problem, not a problem. God, did I use the wrong word? This is a situation that I would think a lot of our viewers, and I know you just had this personally too in your life, the time has come for her to no longer live alone. She has to live with me now.
Right.
So I'm going home and bringing her back to my house. And from now on, she's going to be living with my wife and my two children. And I just want to say this. It's not every daughter-in-law who would be comfortable with that. And especially after my wife's mom just passed away after a terrible 4-year battle with cancer. And my wife was at her mom's house or hospital nearly every single, every single day for 4 years. And that's not an exaggeration at all. She was at the hospital every single day or her mom's home for 4 years. It was just something terrible, something crazy. So to my wife, who also never misses one of her husband's shows, I can't thank you enough or love you enough for this. And as you know, my mom feels the same way about you. You're not her daughter-in-law. You are her daughter. So thank you very much.
Well, she's 94. I mean, she's been able to stay on her own that long. That's
absolutely.
such tribute to her.
Yes, and she's still hanging in.
I know she is. I tell you, I walked in the door today because I used to bring Dad and the dog, and I looked at the couch where he used to sit while we did just this morning, and I thought of him.
Yeah, you did the same thing for your dad.
Yeah, he came every show.
Yes, and I know there's a lot of viewers that are, dealing with the same thing.
It's hard, but it is what it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
and you have family, and your family's doing the right thing, and I'm
Yes.
so happy for
Thank
you.
you. And, we can do, I get these questions asked all the time, actually. It's not the topic for today's show, but we can certainly do one. What is the responsibility of the association, right? When they know there's someone living in a unit that has no family,
Right.
right? And you have a 94-year-old person living in that unit,
Right.
and you know that that person really almost can't take care of themselves anymore.
Yeah.
Does the association have any responsibility at all to that person? And we can do a whole show on
I
that.
guess
Okay.
welfare checks.
Let's save it for a
Okay.
whole
Okay.
show
All
because
right.
it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
really interesting. I mean, the obvious answer is if the association had to worry about every single elderly person that
Right.
lived there, right? I mean, it would be tremendous, tremendous burden. So we'll talk about it. We'll do a whole show on it.
That's
But
super
for today,
interesting. Okay.
I'm just thanking my wife. Okay, back to the condo and HOA world, I should say. Right about now, associations and their management companies, considering we're coming into the last quarter of the year, they start putting together the anticipated budget for next year. And it used to be kind of real simple, throw in the anticipated income, right? Show the anticipated expenses, budget for the roof, pavement, and painting, perhaps maybe even waive reserves, and you're done.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I did waive reserves. So it was pretty simple up until now, but because of mandatory reserves, in some instances, it's now gotten a lot more complicated to do your budget. In addition to that, your budget now also depends upon the height of the building,
Or your square footage, depending on what county you're
you
in.
stole my thunder, or does it depend upon the
I'm
height of your
sorry.
building? Bottom line is there's so much to know.
Well, I'm in a 4-story condo, and it's 3 stories or less with the new law.
Exactly. Correct.
So
So you're
still,
stuck. You're
but
doing the reserving.
right, but
Right.
we have reserve.
Right.
But I'm in Palm Beach County.
Right. So buildings in Palm Beach County, you have to reserve, and we'll get to it about buildings in Dade and Broward. Totally different story.
Bananas.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's wild. And as you'll see, the laws have been made really confusing. And we'll start with the little guys. Buildings under 3 stories. Okay. All right. Here
You're
we go.
good.
Yes. Bottom line, if you're under 3 stories, here's what the statute says. Right. I hate reading statutes, but there's a reason why I'm reading it. In addition to annual operating expenses, the budget must include reserve accounts for capital expenditures and deferred maintenance. These accounts must include, but are not limited to, roof replacement, building painting, and pavement resurfacing, regardless of the amount of deferred maintenance expense or replacement cost, and any other item that has a deferred maintenance expense or replacement cost that exceeds $25,000, or the inflation adjusted amount determined by the division under subparagraph 6, whatever is greater. And here's what subparagraph 6 says. This is all new. The division shall annually adjust for inflation based on the consumer price index for all urban consumers released in January of each year, the minimum $25,000 threshold amount for required services by February 1st, 2026, and annually thereafter. The division must conspicuously post on its website the inflation adjusted minimum threshold amount for required reserves.
I'm like a dog watching a card trick over here. I am completely lost.
Right. And I'm sure so is everybody. And that was the
my
intent.
eyes glazed
Right,
over.
That's why that was the intent of me reading
What
it.
the
Yeah.
hell?
I guess it means that if inflation goes up, that $25,000 number is going to go up as well. So
Okay.
you kind of need to check the DBPR website each year. That's the bottom line.
The directors do.
Yes, they need to check the
So they need to
DBPR.
be able to do math.
Correct. And they need to be able to check that DBPR website. Bottom line, make sure you do that, or if not, your manager is doing it.
Okay. So the reserves may be waived if the condo building is less than 3 stories.
Yeah, that's the question. Can it be reserved if it's less than 3 stories? And in a word, yes. If you're less than 3 stories,
You can waive.
you can waive it, right? Because you're less than 3 stories, the owners have the right to waive reserves. All of
But
them,
why would you?
no exceptions. That's the way it is right now. But you now instead, it used to be if you get a majority of a quorum. Now you need a majority of all the unit owners in the condo to vote to waive reserves. But as you know, I think it's a terrible idea.
That's a big deal, though.
It is.
That's hard to get done.
Yeah, right. Half of everybody, no longer half of a quorum.
Okay.
But I think it's not only is it a bad idea, it's an especially bad idea if you live in Dade and Broward, as you alluded to. And here's why. As many of our listeners have learned, there are mandatory what's called recertifications of condominium buildings in Dade and Broward. Okay, in Dade and Broward only. And the mandatory recertifications apply to buildings that are less than 3 stories.
So it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. Now, here's why. So after the collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside, we know that the Florida legislature passed a law requiring mandatory structural inspections and repairs in condo buildings that are 3 stories or taller for every county in the entire state. And they're called, under the statute, milestone inspections. But in Dade and Broward, it's totally different. In Dade and Broward, you have to complete these inspections and repairs regardless of height. Okay, when the building reaches 25 years of age, and in some cases, and 30 years of age in other cases. And in Dade and Broward, again, forget height. These building recertifications kick in Dade if the building is 2,000 square feet, regardless of height. And in Broward, these recertifications kick in if the building is 3,500 square feet, regardless of height. And it's mandatory at 25 years, not 30. And in the rest of the state, you only have to pass structural. But in Dade and Broward, the building must pass both structural and electrical recertification. There's a lot going on in Dade and Broward, a lot more stringent.
So if in Dade and Broward, even if you are in a 2-story or 1-story and you're not reserving for future electrical and structural repairs, you're playing Russian roulette.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, if you're waiving repairs, even in a small building in Dade and Broward, it's dangerous. Again, because why? Height doesn't matter. That's the bottom line. If you're not putting away money for reserves, when you get hit with that 25 or 30-year notice for your recertification.
Now, would you have had that if Champlain didn't fall down?
No. Absolutely.
So
well, no, in Dade and Broward, I shouldn't say that. In Dade and Broward, yes, this was always the law.
That's what
it's been that. Yeah, it's been that law for a good question. It's been that way for a very long time. The rest of the state, you used to be able to build a building. Pick Palm Beach County. You can build a building. You can build a skyscraper condominium.
And you never have
to look at it again. Okay?
So
Dade and Broward was
they
different.
had it anyway. You knew
Dade and Broward only. Dade and Broward only.
You knew you were going to have your milestones, so
right.
you bet as well reserve.
Right, especially in Dade and Broward, you always should have been doing reserves.
Right.
Why? Height doesn't matter. So once you get hit with those recertifications,
right,
and now milestone inspections in the rest of the state,
right,
if you don't have that money on hand, you are going to face massive special assessments, right? Or you're going to have to take out massive loans from a bank and pay them back.
Yes.
Right? Guess what? You have to pay them back when you take them out.
No.
Yeah. New law also. You have to pay back your loans.
I mean, because I still have checks in my checkbook.
Right.
I must have money.
Exactly. All right. So this sums up what the law is in small condominiums. And by the way, we always seem to talk about down here tall condominiums, large structures, because we see them in the neighborhoods that are around this office, like Sunny Isles, Hollywood, right? Aventura. The entire rest of the state is mostly small condominiums.
Okay, so
right?
the majority
1 story, 2
are the
story.
smaller.
Oh, no question about it, right? No question that there are
there
more
you go.
2 stories than 10 stories or above. No question.
Okay.
So next week, we'll talk about budgeting for 3 stories or taller. But today, there's got to be a lot of people out there with questions regarding the smaller condominiums. Again, why? Because that's what's by far the majority in most of the state.
Interesting.
So if you have any questions about this complicated topic, I think I do. Taking your call, 717-452-9378, 717-452-9378, or drop us a comment or question in the chat box on YouTube. We'll be back right after this.
are very large management companies and there are very small management companies. And I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back of the house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
The whole town had a flu.
Right.
So he's wearing this ridiculous thing for you.
For you, exactly.
Someone said, nice blazer, Glazer. Oh my God, that's
Thank you.
hilarious. Give us a
Thank you.
call in the studio. 717 Glazer 8. That's 717-452-9378. Welcome back.
All right, Rob, I think we have some calls, right?
Yep. Let's go to our first caller, Joe.
How are you, Joe? Joe, you there?
I'm here. Yes, can you hear me?
Hey, good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good. Eric, we have a unit that's in foreclosure. The owner bought it at an auction, and there was a HUD lien on it for close to $500,000. She didn't do her homework, and she found out after the fact. She wanted us to let her out of the sale, and of course, the board would not do that. This owner has never paid any maintenance. She's now demanding a meeting with the board. The board says no, she must go through her attorney with any questions. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. See, people don't realize that buying a condo unit at a foreclosure sale could be a very risky thing.
You don't get an estoppel?
No, you don't get an estoppel,
Ah, well,
right?
there you
So
go.
no, you just go. You should get an attorney. Let's put it that way. So this person bought this unit where it was a first mortgage foreclosure sale, and this person shows up at the sale, and this person buys a unit at the foreclosure sale where the bank was foreclosing. And this person thinks, oh, that's great. I'm going to get this condo free with no
But
liens on
it's
it.
got
If
baggage.
the bank would have foreclosed on it, yeah, the bank would have had to only pay the lesser of 1 year or 1% of what was owed in condo assessments.
But not you.
That doesn't apply to the third party
Why
purchaser
would that be?
because the
You're
banks,
not a bank.
because you're not a bank. That's exactly why. The banks are if the banks weren't treated that way, a bank would never loan money on a condominium
Right.
unit, but does not apply to the third party purchaser. Now, does she need to talk to an attorney before talking to the board? No. But, the only thing the board's going to tell her is, sorry, you made a bad deal. If you want to sell it, you could sell it, but we're out our money. That's the bottom line. You don't have to talk with only an attorney. You can talk with her, but there's really not much to tell her.
Isn't there a 3-day law, though, on contract
No
law in
rescission.
Florida?
Nope, not rescission if you buy it at a sale.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
kidding.
she didn't buy it. She didn't buy it in a arm's length transaction. She bought it at a sale. Yep,
Oh.
absolutely. She's stuck. Okay. So that's the
All right,
answer.
thank
You
you
want
for
to talk to her? That's up to the board. She doesn't necessarily need an attorney to do it, but even if she had one, I don't think it's going to help her
Well,
too
how's the
much.
But
board going
they
to
can say
She can't
they
get
can
out
say
of
no,
that.
right, Eric?
Of course, the board can say no. Nothing to talk about.
Right,
Okay.
'cause she's paid zero maintenance.
Well, time to foreclose on her.
So that's what we're doing. It's
Okay.
in foreclosure right now.
There you go. All
What a
right, then you're doing the right
nightmare.
thing. Okay.
Okay, super.
Next
Thanks,
time,
man.
buyer
Thank you.
beware.
But
Right.
what if a bank then buys it? They're still out the
If
money.
the bank buys it, then it's the lesser of 1 year or 1%. If they buy it at their own foreclosure sale.
So they're out the money
She-
anyway.
If yes, correct. The association would be out the money, a lot of money. They're not out the money if a third party like her bought it.
But
So
if
she's
she
stuck.
starts paying now,
She could stop paying now. Great.
Now.
But she owes
Yeah,
whatever
but-
was owed previously.
but if they foreclose on her and a bank
Yes.
buys it, it's the same difference.
No, if they foreclose on her now and a third party and anybody buys it now, they're going to owe everything that was
Not
owed.
not a bank.
Even a
though.
bank.
Oh, even a bank.
The bank only doesn't have to pay if they're foreclosing on their own
Oh,
mortgage.
okay.
If we foreclose on her now for paying her
The
assessments,
bank has to pay it.
anybody who buys it has to pay it, including a bank if a bank buys it.
Got
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Wow.
So buyer beware. These are things you
Big
got to know
time. What a
before showing up with cash
nightmare.
at a foreclosure sale and thinking you're gonna get an amazing deal.
So
Doesn't always
she's
work
out
way.
that cash that she put
She's
down.
out. Yeah. Right now she is absolutely. She can sell it, but she's got to sell it with that. Whoever's going to buy
That'll
it
eat
has
up
to
whatever
bring-
she put
correct.
in it.
Whoever's buy it when she sells it to, that person now has to bring the condo current. Good luck selling it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. Next caller.
Let's go to our next caller. Looks like Christine.
How are you, Christine?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Eric?
Okay, where are you calling from?
From Hollandale.
Okay, how can we help?
Well, I have a suspicion my condo is stealing. What are my steps?
Oh, everybody thinks
Yeah, just
that.
don't call him a thief.
Yeah, everybody thinks, the condo, this one's stealing, that one's stealing.
Do they have everything up on the website that you can look at it?
No, there really it's a debacle.
We
This
hear
has
these
been going on.
things. We hear these things all the time, and my typical comeback to that is you can't make those allegations unless you have the proof, right? And
they don't have the
What?
stuff on a
without the
website.
proof,
I-
like Karen said, hold on. You better never, ever, ever, ever accuse a board member in public of stealing funds, because if you do that, they have a great case for slander against you. So I'd certainly be
Right.
really
So-
careful.
But
Yeah.
I do have proof. I see the accounting is a disaster. There's money that's not appropriated properly.
Right.
But that's not stealing.
Just-
Yeah, right, exactly. It could just be crappy bookkeeping,
Well-
you don't know. So how many units are in your condo?
We have 71.
71. I don't know what your budget is, but the condo is certainly required to do a year-end financial report each year, right? Did they do that? And that's when I'd worry if there isn't a year-end financial report done every year by a CPA. Right? That's when you got to say,
Yeah.
okay. And by the way, you have to read the report. You got to see what it says in the report. Sometimes you see a CPA prepare a report, and even though they're supposed to do an audit, if you read the first page or two, they'll say the board did not provide us with the correct information or adequate information, so we can't make an opinion on whether or not
But aren't
the
they
audit is
required?
correct.
Are they
No,
required
of
by
course they're
law?
required, but that's when you got to start worrying when the CPA himself or herself actually says, "Hey, they didn't even give us the documents to do the audit." That's when your hair should stand up in the back of your neck and say, "Wait a minute, yeah, we need to look into this a little further." And the DBPR now certainly has the jurisdiction to do that. So you can certainly take that year-end financial complaint and send it to the DBPR and say, "Look, our condo's not even providing the documents to the accountant that they're supposed to be providing." So that's what you want to do. But unless you have that proof, better not make the allegation. Okay. Thanks, Christine. Appreciate the call. Who
All
else
right.
we got, Rob?
Thank you.
All right. Next caller is Sam from Tampa.
How are you, Sam?
Yes, it's been a while I've talked to you, but I want to mention something related to small condo budget.
Yes.
Last year, first of all, this is in Pinellas County.
Yep.
The condo size is 12 units. Last year, our building was structurally damaged. The board of directors requested that we reduce the services. We, as owners, said yes. Garbage services, internet was shut off, water, landscaping, and electrics was turned off. Maintenance was reduced drastically. We only had a maintenance to cover just the insurance premiums and a few other items. We had the insurance claim, we're taken care of, we were covered. Now all of a sudden we're getting into the budget for next year, and now the board wants to raise the maintenance fees more than what it was before, and saying that we're going to get increase October, November, and December. I have my own personal opinion that, first of all, there's no vote of the owners to put it back up. And what happened to the money? They didn't put money for reserves.
Well,
So my question is, do they have a legal right to increase it, or is it best to have a special assessment to make up for the rest of the
That
year
is
2025?
that's the board's decision. That's the board decision. Now, if a board is amending a budget like in the middle of the year, what the board would have to do is
Yes.
send out an amended budget to all of the owners, right, with 14-day notice, and then vote on an amended budget. If they were sending out a special assessment, they would have to do the same thing, 14-day notice to everybody. But are any of those services turned back on there? You were saying there was no electric, there was no water. Were all those things, working at
Okay.
the moment?
One building is a two-story building, which I'm in the two-story building, and then
Right.
the other one is like 5 units.
Okay.
Electric is there.
What hurricane were you
We
hit
got
with?
permits.
Hold on. What
We got
hurricane were
permits
you hit with? Was it Ian?
Helene,
Oh, Helene? Which one?
I mean,
what hurricane hit you?
Helene. Okay, got it.
Helene.
Right. Okay. So Hurricane
So,
Helene took you out. You filed nothing was working. You filed an insurance claim. Did the money come in yet?
Yes,
Okay.
for the insurance of the flood insurance.
Okay.
So we've already started. We have a general contractor. Upstairs was not affected because the flood did not affect
Right.
them. So they still had electric. They didn't have the internet because it was a bulk account.
Right.
You know, we stopped the landscaping. Upstairs only had electric. Even our common element for electric, with our provider Duke Energy, had cut
Right.
everything off. We got everything all checked and everything, and so now we're at the crossroads, and I'm at the point where we got to have 75% of the owners to approve this.
No,
not just
that's
the board
not.
members
That's
just to say,
hold
hey,
on.
we're
Hold
going
on.
to increase you.
So that's not how it
Arbitrarily.
works. Hold on. That's not how it works when creating the budget. However, and I'll probably have to do this show, the show that I have in my mind, either a week from now or 2 weeks from now. There is a new law, right, that came out
Imagine
that says if the budget's going to go up by 115% now, you want to talk about complicated? That the board now has to propose a substitute budget.
Oh my God.
Yes, and that substitute budget has to show the budget with actual and nothing other than what's mandatorily required, whatever that means. Okay, and I think before,
Yes, sir.
but before we actually talk about it on the show, we'll deal with that.
So you have one budget that
today,
just shows you what must be, and then you have
Right.
another one that shows
Yeah,
you the
there's no,
110%.
in other words, no discretionary spending at all. If
Okay.
the budget, it's going to go up by 115%. Now, I haven't seen your budget for the association, but if there's no discretionary spending in there, then the budget is fine and it can be passed by the board. And that's where you're going to see a lot of fights coming up in the future, where a board's going to say, there's no discretionary spending in here. We need everything in here. There's no definition of discretionary spending in the statute. So you raised a really good issue that there's going to be a lot of fights over.
It sounds like a
Right.
husband and wife.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not discretionary spending.
Exactly.
I've got to get my hair done.
Exactly, right. But
My concern,
yeah,
my concern, Eric, is that they did not put any money into reserves. When we had the meeting last year, I
okay.
suggested, why are we cutting the
So-
maintenance down?
Well,
Put
you
that
all
had
money
to vote
into
on a second,
reserves,
hold on.
so we'll have it down the road.
So hold on. So you're under 3 stories, and you're saying this new budget that
Yes,
came
sir.
out shows no reserves.
And you voted for that?
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying last year, when
Yes.
they reduced the maintenance fees
Yes.
for 2025, they reduced a lot of monies for reserves.
Understood.
Because
Well,
they just cut all these expenses out, and they should have kept it, in my opinion. They should have kept it the same,
if
put the money
things,
in reserves.
yeah.
and
I don't
still
know.
have the operational.
And again, I don't know. I don't know
These
if
hurricanes.
if things were fixed after the storm, and that's why reserves were reduced. To answer your question requires a lot more knowledge that we can't go through just on this one
The
call.
thing is,
understand.
like
Yeah.
when you had Hurricane Michael hitting Mexico Beach,
Ish.
and it blew away your building,
Yep.
you still had to pay
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
So
Doesn't mean
I
that your
don't know why
assessment
they're
stopped.
reducing
That's it.
stuff.
I don't get it.
I
But
don't get it.
again, there's a lot more you have to know that you
They
can't
don't want to
necessarily
spend
answer on
money.
this one call.
They
I
kick
get
it
it.
down the can.
Yeah, but
I
still,
get it.
you have to pay it.
Yep. Exactly.
pay it.
Regardless. Hey, let's do this. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. Taking your call, 717-452-9378, or drop us a question in the chat box on YouTube.
Thank
Back
you,
right
Eric.
after this. Thank you.
Thank you.
In South Florida, the transition from bright sunshine to heavy rain and hurricanes can take a toll on your property's exterior and structural integrity. Cracked stucco, spalled concrete, they're more than eyesores. They can signal deeper issues. Now, with new Florida laws involving structural integrity requirements, we want to help you meet your milestone inspections and maintain the durability and beauty of your building. Since 2004, PD has been the trusted expert in structural concrete restoration, painting, and waterproofing for condominiums and commercial properties. Visit pd-concrete.com or call us today.
Life is full of steps. We learn to take small steps, and big steps. We take steps toward adventure to discover what's next. At Southstate, helping you take each step is what inspires us to keep moving forward, so you can keep enjoying what's next in your life. This is banking at its best. This is banking forward.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Condo Craze and HOAs here on our YouTube channel. Karen Curtis with attorney Eric Glazer. He is board certified in community association law. So any condo, HOA, co-op questions you have, give us a call and he will answer at 717-GLAZER-8 to the best of his ability. 717-452-9378. And it doesn't mean it's actually being legal advice, but
Doesn't even mean it's right. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so some really nice comments in the chat box. Thank you to our listeners. And yes, people are writing in. We should do a whole show on the responsibility of the association to take care of people or not take care of people.
yeah,
Who
I'm sure there's someone and everyone that's watching in your community that you're worried about.
exactly. There was a question about what is the the educational responsibility of HOA directors, and do they need a 4-hour course? No, that's not what the actual law says for HOA directors. The HOA statute, the condo statute says 4 hours. This is not what the HOA statute says. The HOA statute says
6 hours.
Nope, no, not the original class. The first class is within 90 days after being elected or appointed to the board, each director must submit a certificate of having satisfactorily completed the educational curriculum administered by a department-approved educational provider. And here's really the only thing that it says. The curriculum specific to newly elected or appointed directors must include training related to financial literacy and transparency, record keeping, levying of fines, and notice and meeting requirements.
Which you teach.
Yes, we teach
in the
a
whole
lot
thing.
more than that for HOA members. But those are the 4 things that are required to be taught. But unlike condo board members where it says 4 hours, it does not say that for HOA members. And then it gets even more confusing because where continuing education
gotta
comes
really put it in.
HOA members have to do 4 hours, but condo members only have to do 1 hour. So why
October
are these things so different? I have no idea.
October 7th, you're teaching in Broward,
Yeah,
right?
let's go over it. That's a good time to actually
these are his
good
classes.
segue into that.
His
That's right.
L&L Condo and HOA expos all over the state. Broward, October 7th. So he's teaching condo and HOA there.
Exactly. Palm Beach, October 16th.
And Tampa, October 21st.
Yeah, all these coming up. Bradenton, October 29th.
Miami, November 5th.
Don't disappoint me, Miami.
Come on,
It's always
Miami.
Miami of all the cities that I teach in, I hate saying this, Miami has the worst turnout. Okay.
Now, I bet they show up now with all these new laws.
Always. And I don't know why, but Miami, we'd love to see you.
And November 12th, Orlando. And he teaches oh my gosh,
So
new
many
safety
topics.
inspection reserve. What's the difference between structural and
You have the structural reserves that you do, and then
Yeah.
electrical reserves. Structural inspections and electrical
and
for
a
Dade
40-year
and Broward.
And what about a 40-year?
In the other counties, right? It's called milestone inspections. In Dade and Broward, The statute is there, but it's different. It's just called recertifications.
Okay, so
30, 40, 50, and when you do it, it's on the 30, let's say, and every 10 years
they're just
thereafter.
it's just
Different
it's
names.
all the same but different names.
It's
So
all
there
the
you
same
go.
basically, but different
Tack it.
names. But Dade and Broward tack on electrical as well, not just structural.
And all these classes you have openings where they can go to sign up for
Yeah,
them.
just
It's
Condo
free.
Craze and HOAs.com.
Yeah, it's free.
That's it. Okay. Rob set up a really great website. Makes it really, really easy. to
Thank you,
register.
Rob.
Thank you. All right,
Oh,
let's go back to the phones.
Rob.
All right, let's go to our next caller, Kate.
Kate, good morning. Kate, you there?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, Kate.
I'm calling for Kate.
How are you? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Vero Beach.
Okay, how can
I'm
we
in
help?
a 29 in a 29 unit condo.
Right.
We are self-managed. I am the treasurer. I'm watching today because I need information on the reserve issues.
Okay.
But my question is about we're looking for a property management firm, and
Right.
we sent out RFPs or like bid requests
Right.
to 7 organizations, and no one seems to be interested in us because we're too small.
Yeah.
And one of the local agencies here says, yeah, we won't even look at a property unless they have they're willing to pony up to $40,000 a year.
No, I think you can certainly
Base
get somebody
fee.
for less than $40,000 a year. Now, what you want, is a small management company, or you want someone who's a manager not working for a company.
Yeah.
But you should certainly be able to find somebody.
Can you recommend
We're in
someone?
Vero
Okay.
Beach, not offhand in Vero Beach, but I bet you there's someone listening to the show right now who could recommend to you a manager or management company in Vero Beach, or maybe there's even a manager or management company in Vero Beach listening now. If you are, just jot
Okay.
it down, list it in the chat box on YouTube. I guarantee you can find someone for a lot less than $40,000 a year, and I mean a lot less.
Okay, because you sort of answered my question,
Okay.
and that it brings me kind of another quick question. So I am a licensed CAM.
Okay.
So I do have I am licensed, and I have a little company registered with DVPR.
Well, then take over.
So why
But
don't
of
you do
course,
it?
I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, you
But
can do it.
But I'm an owner. I'm
That's
an
okay.
owner here. I'm a resident here,
Right.
and I'm volunteering my time.
And
And
you're
my
a treasurer.
position right now is I'm not going to continue to volunteer my time for these
that's a
people,
great
half of
question.
whom are
Can
investors.
she do it?
Great question. So there was actually even talk this year of changing the statute. The statute now says directors and officers can't be paid unless it's in the bylaws. There was even talk about, how do you get more qualified people? That's not meant as an insult to people that are
No,
serving out
yeah.
there, but how do you get people to want to run? And maybe
Someone
the
like
answer
her.
is maybe have them get paid.
Yeah.
Now, you're a CAM, right? You have a license to be a CAM. So the association
Yes.
can absolutely hire you to serve as the CAM for the building. Now, when that issue comes up before the board, obviously you can't
Yep.
vote for it, right? So you're going to recuse yourself. And in the contract between you and the association, your company and the association, you're going to disclose in that contract that you have a conflict of interest, that you're currently on the board. You're going to put that right in the contract. And 2/3 of the other directors have to vote in favor of that contract. If you jump through those hoops, you're good. Absolutely. Go do it.
Go for it.
Okay?
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. I wish you good luck. And I understand exactly where you're
Thank
coming
you.
from.
That makes perfect
Okay?
sense.
100%. Look, a lot of people put in a lot of time, and at some point they feel, you know what? I'm doing everything. It's too much. If I can't get paid something for it, I'm not going to do it anymore. And she's a CAM.
Especially if she's a
She's a CAM.
CAM,
She's
and they need a
licensed. Yeah,
CAM.
she can absolutely do it if you jump through those
Well, what if the
hoops.
board goes, you're already here?
Right.
So
you
there's no
absolutely. What,
leverage.
you don't, right.
There's no leverage though for her.
And by the way,
if she
you're-
gets off the board, then maybe.
right, she can get off, right?
Yeah.
That's the leverage.
Because that's your leverage.
That's
I'll
the
bet I'll
leverage. She
get off
says,
the
"You know
board.
what?
I'm
I'll
not
get
doing
off the
this for
board."
free
Right.
anymore.
And by the way, yes, competitive bidding, as you know, is normally required for a lot of things.
Yeah.
One of the things it's not required for is your community association
Oh,
manager.
boom.
Yes.
Well, you got 40,000 or me.
Now I don't. I didn't ask her, but and I hope she's still listening. But the bottom line is, in order to serve as the CAM, not only do you have to be licensed as a CAM, right? but your company has to be licensed.
She
as
said she have a little company.
You better make
She-
sure
she
that.
just said she has a little company.
I was teaching somewhere this week, and the issue came up. As wait a minute, I know you love your CAM. Is your CAM licensed? Then we go on to the website.
okay.
Yes, CAM is licensed. Great.
What
Do they
about
work for
their
a company?
company?
Yes, company not licensed.
She said she has a company. I'm
So,
hoping. Make sure you're licensed.
Gotta be careful. All right, let's go back to the phones, Rob.
Right, next caller is John from Sarasota.
Hey, John, we're all over the state today. How are you, John?
Hey, hi, Eric and
Okay.
Karen. Quick question, a little off topic, but maybe interesting nonetheless. What's your thoughts on a treasurer who's a foreign, who lives, say, in Canada or Europe, not a U.S. citizen, not a resident of the United States? Is there any risk, or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, just make sure they're dealing in U.S. dollars.
Yes, the person. So let's get the first question out of the way that I know a lot of people oftentimes have. If the person is not living in the condominium and is even living out of the country, are they still allowed to serve on your board? And the answer to that question is yes. An owner, as long as they're an owner, can serve on the board. So let's get the obvious question out of the way that a lot of people have repeatedly. I
Even
get
if
it
they're
all
in
the time.
prison?
Even they're in prison. That's a good question.
If they haven't been found guilty yet.
If they haven't been convicted of a felony
yeah.
and their rights haven't been restored, they can even serve from prison. That's an interesting one.
Oh,
right?
as a misdemeanor,
Believe it or not.
360 days.
Yes, correct. So you can still even serve from prison, never mind a foreign
Well, that would be
country.
jail.
So that would be jail.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct. So yes, they can still serve. What's my opinion on it? Do withdrawals from the account require more than one signature? Okay, that's what I want to know. If the treasurer who's living out of the country has access to that account and can transfer monies to anywhere in the world, no, I'm definitely not comfortable with that. Absolutely not.
That's right.
I want the treasurer and at least one person on the board approving all transfers. I will tell you that I had a case a couple years ago, a very similar situation, where our president, had his name on a building and wanted the building next door to look good, right? And gave the building next door $2 million to fix up their pool deck so that the people buying in that building with his name on it didn't have to stare at an ugly pool deck.
Okay,
So we
okay.
paid for the building next door to fix up the pool deck. The money goes in and the money goes out and probably was taken to Russia.
No.
Yeah, and I got a call from the FBI asking me where I thought the money went. I didn't know. I just came in way after all of that happened. But yes, these things happen. And it's a great call. A really great call. So I am not comfortable with if someone's living out of the country and if they're the only one that really has access and has the ability to make transfers out of the country, no
and
less.
no debit card.
Absolutely not comfortable with
Do
it.
they have to be a citizen?
No, they don't have to be a citizen. Absolutely no. They have to be an owner of the property.
I'll be
And that
darned.
qualifies them to be on the board and qualifies them to be the treasurer. And I hope that answers your question. We got to take our final
Yep.
break of the hour. Don't wait for the last
Thank
second.
you.
717-452-9378. 717-GLAZER-8 or drop us a question or comment in the chat box on YouTube. Back right after this.
In South Florida, the transition from bright sunshine to heavy rain and hurricanes can take a toll on your property's exterior and structural integrity. Cracked stucco, spalled concrete, they're more than eyesores. They can signal deeper issues. Now, with new Florida laws involving structural integrity requirements, we want to help you meet your milestone inspections and maintain the durability and beauty of your building. Since 2004, PD has been the trusted expert in structural concrete restoration, painting, and waterproofing for condominiums and commercial properties. Visit pd-concrete.com or call us today.
Life is full of steps. We learn to take small steps and big steps. We take steps toward adventure to discover what's next. At Southstate, helping you take each step is what inspires us to keep moving forward, so you can keep enjoying what's next in your life. This is banking at its best. This is banking forward.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
And welcome back to the final segment of Condo Craze and HOAs. Karen Curtis here with Eric Glazer, and we're taking your calls. And also, what you're putting in the chat box is hilarious because we started the show talking about building sizes, and this one says size doesn't matter.
Height doesn't matter.
I mean, height doesn't matter.
But Logic Base writes in and says, so height doesn't matter, but size does?
Yeah.
Funny.
It does because well, I'm not going to go down that
I've
road.
always been told, Eric, don't worry about it. It's what you do with it. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
But in terms of a condo in Broward,
Right.
Miami-Dade,
Right.
the size does matter.
That size does matter exactly in terms of square footage.
Right.
It absolutely does. Betty Castagna writes in, sent an E, 100 years for mom. Thank you so much, Betty.
Bon.
Appreciate it. All right, how about we go back to the phone?
Okay, next caller is Donata.
Nada, how are you?
Oh, she's going to come up with something brilliant.
Hi, Eric. How are you? How are you both?
Donata's not there. Okay,
Yes,
next.
she's talking to you.
Yes,
I have a
I don't hear it.
suggestion.
There's something wrong with me.
And
Nope,
then I
not
have
there.
a
All right,
question.
let's-
No, she's talking. Go ahead.
She
do
is?
that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
I'll tell you.
That's weird.
Make sure your thing is turned up.
Yep, it is.
Is it unplugged? You might have unplugged
No,
it.
who knows? All right. Well,
I'll tell you what she's
you
saying.
tell me.
Go ahead, Donata.
Strange.
Okay, so I have a suggestion. It's a small suggestion. So there are finances for dentist work. There are finances for hospital work. There are finances for everything, but there are no finances for lawyers.
Oh,
Why
that's
is
interesting.
that?
Well,
That would help, especially if it would be a group, that would want to hire services, not the consultation, but service of lawyers. And the board has always money, but the unit owners don't.
all right. So let's address
Yeah.
that topic. When you say there's no finances for lawyers, wow, someone worrying about lawyers getting paid. This is a great
Why are
and a
they
very
paying-
unique call.
But why
I don't
are
think
they
we
pay-
ever got a call like this.
Why are they paying dentists? I don't understand.
That I don't have any idea. I didn't hear
Oh,
that.
yeah, you can go to a dentist and do the work, and you get a finance to do in 10
Oh.
payments or something like that.
Well, do some lawyers take
Yeah.
finance plans? Sometimes if someone can't pay and they have to pay it over a few
I
months,
see what you're
that
saying.
happens. But I will tell you that in every association's budget, right, when the association does the budget at the year end and they're planning for next year,
No, but that's the board.
yes.
The unit owners.
Oh, should unit owners budget for it? Okay. Well, I was just going to finish my thought. Hold on.
Unit owners.
Just going to finish my
Yeah.
thought that in every budget for the association, there should always be a line item for legal. And if you're not, you're actually kidding yourself. There's always for accounting, and there should be one for legal. Sometimes that budget that for attorney is woefully underfunded, quite frankly. But there should always be a line item for it.
Yeah, legal
But-
expense is a
yeah,
budget item.
Should unit owners budget for legal? Not if they're happy, I guess, right? If
Right.
they're unhappy, then yeah, they'd want to have money saved up to go talk to a lawyer. Thanks for looking out for lawyer finances, Donata. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
They're correct. They're correct.
No, I'm looking for the unit owners because many unit owners can't afford to pay, let's say, $5,000 So if it was being installments, a bank would finance, or like they do with dentists, it would help the unit owner.
Yeah, difficult for me to hear, but
Yeah.
Donata, I appreciate it, but thank you for the call. We got to keep moving.
You
In
got
the
corrected.
short time we got left.
It's Trent Annie. What are you talking about? That's French, is it not French?
Yes, Centenny, 100 years. Not
Trent Annie.
Yeah, don't know what it
I'm
means.
so confused.
All right. What else we got on the board,
Oh,
Karen?
we have a feral cat problem.
Okay.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
Now I hear. Rob
Okay, what
fixed
the
me
heck?
over
Your
here.
battery ran out.
Thanks, Rob. I must have moved
Um,
the wrong way.
Yeah, whatever. Oh.
Okay, who else we got? Does the 115% include increase in reserves if the budget goes up? Yes, it does. Okay, it includes the monies that go up in reserves. Okay, who else we got, Rob?
Okay, next caller is Liz.
How are you, Liz?
Hi, good morning.
Good
Thanks for
morning.
taking
Where
the
you calling
call.
from?
I'm from Palm Beach County, and I am calling about what kind of information needs to be posted on a website with relation to contracts. We have just begun. It was approved in March. A $600,000 renovation of our clubhouse and gymnasium. And that contract isn't on our website,
So
and nor have other big contracts like that.
Okay, so there's been a lot of fight about this actually. People, like yourself calling in and saying, we don't see the contracts on our website, but the statute that requires work items to be posted on your website, I'm looking at it right now. I pulled it up on the board, right? Behind me. I don't know, Robert, if we can zoom in on it or not, but it doesn't say that the actual contracts themselves have to be on the website. Look
Oh.
what it says. A list of all executory contracts or documents to
Oh.
which the association is a party or under which the association or the unit owners have an obligation or responsibility. Okay? So it actually doesn't require the actual contracts themselves.
Seems like it would be
okay?
nice if you had the list. We have a link. And
Right,
click
you have a link, and then there's one addition to that. All contracts or transactions between the associations and any director, officer, corporation, firm, or association that is not affiliated condominium association. So, like we spoke to the other director before, and we said, "Why don't you be the can?"
Right.
That would have to
That
be up
would-
there. So, I understand the complaint, and I got to tell you, it is kind of weird. It's kind of bizarre.
Right.
That why would a list of executory contracts be required to be put up on the website, but not the contracts themselves?
And how would
I'm
you
with
get
you.
to those contracts?
You'd have to ask and make a written request to get those
That
contracts.
seems odd.
That's because it is odd. It is
Okay.
very odd. But sometimes things are, like I said, rushed through, quite frankly, and I think this is an example of one of them where people are, quite frankly, infuriated about this provision.
Right.
Why shouldn't the contracts that the associations are a party to simply be up on the contract? How many of them are there?
And why bother with getting 3 contract bids if you're not going to even
If you're
show
not-
me the
right.
contract?
Now, one of the exceptions to this is that if a board is now going to be discussing a contract at a board meeting, the contract itself has to be posted with the notice.
There you go.
Okay, so that's one benefit now, change in the law. But the caller is absolutely correct that contract itself does not have to be on the website and when it's signed. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Thanks for
kinda
clarifying
strange,
that.
but no,
We don't
thank
even
you.
have it on the list. That's what.
Oh, it's
that's
not
what's
even on the list.
Yeah, it's not even on the
Not
list.
even on the list.
There's the error.
And
Thank you so much for the
not
call.
even on the
And
list.
half of them roll over
Thank
and you
Right,
don't even
exactly.
know it.
That's right.
By the
Exactly.
way, Logic Base asked if Skippy was at a cat show, and I just wanted to show you that she's here.
That used to be my CB
I
handle
know,
way
that's how
back
we
when,
knew.
like 45, 50 years ago, when I was a kid on the CB radio.
What was
Remember that?
so what did you say?
It
You
used to be
say
Skippy. Hi,
hey,
this is
Skippy.
Skippy, a breaker,
breaker,
whatever the hell it
breaker,
was,
one
right?
niner.
This is Skippy here. Whatever. All right, back to the phones, Rob.
Over to Paul in Hollywood.
How are you, Paul? Paul, you there?
Oh,
5, 4, 3. Paul, you there?
I
One more
hear the
shot.
family.
All right, let's go to the next caller. Paul blew his chance.
Oh boy.
All right, over to Danica in Tampa.
Danica.
Danica?
Hi.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. My question is if board members, specifically condo board members, are required to do continuing education, what classes are certified to
That's a
take
great
care of
question.
that?
So,
And also, who keeps track of it, and where does the paperwork go?
okay, so all good questions. So,
Tampa, October 21st.
yep, that's right. We'll be teaching that, and I'll be able to give you your 1 hour continuing education credit, because what we're going to be teaching is all of the new 2025 laws, and obviously that's going to suffice for your continuing education credit. And you asked me, how do they verify this? The board members themselves are going to have to verify through a form that the DBPR puts out that says, I've taken the educational curriculum that I'm required to take.
And the
And
certificate
you're all
you
going to
give
have
them,
to
you can
sign
put
and
up.
swear to it. And yes, everybody's going to get a certificate I think it's October 21st.
Yep.
Yeah. How do I know that? Because because what's funny, what goes around comes around. On October 20th, which is going to be my mom's 94th birthday,
Oh.
I'm going to be with you in Tampa instead. So I get to miss
Oh.
that. So
But your wife will take care of it. I love it,
exactly.
Mikkel.
October 21st, Tampa, you will be able to take the class and you will be able to get your continuing education 1 hour credit. Okay? So I hope
And
that answers your
Condo
question.
Craze and where does
Go
she
to
go to some?
condocrazeandhoas.com.
If they're taking isn't that the 4-hour course to
Yes,
take
in
to get
that
for a
4-hour
1 hour
course,
extension?
in that 4-hour course, right, will be included 1 hour of all the new 2025 laws. So that's why I'll be able to give you this continuing education credit. Okay?
Now, when you get that certificate, where does it go?
That's
What do
an
you do with it?
official record of your association, right? You should give a copy of that either to your secretary of the association or your community association manager.
Put it on the
It's an
website.
official record, and it's required to be on the website. It's required. It must be on the website for everybody to see.
There you go.
Okay?
Okay, if we're not large enough for a website,
How many
and we
units
don't
are
have
you?
a website,
How many units are you?
16.
16? Not, yeah, it's going to be 20. The new law is going to be 25.
Oh.
So if you're not large enough for a website, then just give it to the secretary, or if you have a manager, give it to the manager. But yes, it's an official record of your association. The unit owners are entitled to ask for it and get a copy of it.
Should make a website anyways.
Yes, make a website anyway. Good point, Rob. Right. Even though you're under 25 units, why not have a website and put some records up there?
Make it easy on
Right?
yourself.
Makes it very easy for unit owners to see it, and it prevents your board from having to deal with requests, I should say. Requests from unit owners to see the records, and probably have to come into your living room to actually see them if that's what they're being maintained. It's a good idea to put them up on the website. Okay?
So there is no place in DPR, Tallahassee, or whatever.
DBPR. Yes, you have to fill out their
You
form.
still have to fill out the form saying that you took the course. Absolutely. There's a form that you're going to have to fill out and acknowledge that you did take the course. That's a separate thing than having to put it up on your website. Two different things. Okay? And on that note,
Wait,
Rob,
they have a feral cat problem and they're feeding them on the property, and now they have raccoons and vermin. What do? Hire a pest guy.
Shoot the cats?
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. What do they do if there's a feral problem? People are feeding them?
They're feeding the feral cats, and now there's raccoons and vermin.
Okay, so the people that are creating the problem, those are the ones that you have to go after.
They're a nuisance.
Right, exactly. They're
Yeah.
creating a nuisance, and there's a lot of cases like this, by the
Yeah.
way. Oftentimes it's with ducks.
Yeah.
Right? People are feeding the ducks. I hear
Right.
that all the time.
Right.
But if someone is creating a problem in the community by feeding, wild animals or whatever it may be, and those wild animals are coming onto the condo or HOA property
them.
and causing, disease and dirt and stuff like that, oftentimes creating more of a financial obligation for the association to clean
Well,
it.
also
Then-
health. It's a
yes,
health
and health
risk.
issues. Absolutely. You can 100% go after those people. Obviously, you need to prove it, right? So you want to get video or pictures showing them doing it. You want to make sure you have a rule in place that says they can't do it.
Like feeding
And-
alligators
but
would be very bad.
That would be bad, absolutely. And if you can prove it up in court, just remember, think of yourself going to court. You got to have the proof showing that the person is doing it. If you can do that, then yes, you can bring them to arbitration, have them declared a nuisance, and that order would be enforceable in a court of law that can be cited with contempt.
Whoa.
So that brings us to the end of another good show. If you need legal help off the air, please don't forget to give Glazer and Sachs a call. 954-983-1112. Again, 954-983-1112 off the air. For our Jewish viewers, I want to wish each of you a happy and healthy new year. May it be great for you and your families. And for everyone, we will see you next Sunday. Again, back at 11 a.m. on Condo Craze and HOAs. Everybody have a wonderful, safe, healthy, meaningful week. Take care.
Thanks, Eric. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Skippy.